Alright, this is going to be a guide on how to play Anna on defensive King's Row. On first point, where I generally like to start off playing is in on top catwalk around this area. So when the game first starts up, ideally you should want to be hiding for the first probably a second or a half, just because that Hanzo or Widow is just gonna probably peek this angle and try to get a pick on you. But once you wait about a second or two, you can come out and start poking them. But if you know that there is a Hanzo or Widow, generally you don't want to stay on this area for too long because it really increases your pick potential. Um, One thing that you can actually do as Anna on first point, right as the attacking team is about to spawn, is look for the Anna grenade to debuff them at start and also build a charge. And one of the ones I like to do if you're playing just on site right here is just aim right at the. It's just like towards the top of the arch right here, and you just press E, and that'll land right in front of their spawn. And also, if you're about to play the area of top top of clock tower without being seen, you can actually stand in this area right here, and then put your crosshair between the middle of here and here, about this area right here, and then press E, and that'll also put your grenade like right in front of the door. So ideally, like as playing in on King's Row, you want to try to play around this top clock tower and even this window right there if you can. But obviously, if they have a Hanzo or Widow, sometimes they're gonna pressure you to the point where if you don't drop, you're gonna get picked and likely lose that point for your team. Um, so ideally, like say they have a Hanzo Widow and you're not gonna be playing here because that's too dangerous. You could also play right here until they go to like theater, and then just heal your heal your teammates that are probably playing around this area right here. And if the Hanzo or Widow eventually moves to clock tower or sorry theater, you could drop and play phone booth. And this gives you basically just gives you cover from a Hanzo or Widow that could possibly pick you. And it's playing phone booth is better than playing behind this hotel right here, just because the enemy team could actually coordinate. If they just rush through a hotel, you're dead. If they have more than one person, because if they have just one guy rushing you, you can just easily sleep dart him. But playing this area right here is a lot safer and also gives you a lot better of an angle to heal your teammates. One thing, this top window right here is really good to play if they don't have like a pick hero such as Hanzo or Widow, since it just gives you a really good vantage point, and it's really hard to be a dove when you're playing that area right there. Other than that, when you're playing Ana, your main priorities are just one, healing your teammates, and then if say everyone on your teammates full health, you can start looking to do damage on the other team, like maybe a Genji just jumping around, and then after that is spamming Reinhardt shield. If everyone on your team is already healed and then there's no one else that you can shoot on the enemy team, then you can just start left clicking the Reinhardt shield and put out a lot of damage on that and put pressure on the Reinhardt. That's mainly first point. One really important thing or mechanic about Ana is being able to land really good like healing debuffs. Like if you're able to land a good debuff to where you catch say like 3 or 4 or even more of the enemy team, you should look to call an engage for your team and say like, hey, 4 of them are debuffed. Let's look to fight here. That is the entirety of point 1 for playing Ana. And here on second phase, there's quite a few positions you could play. Ideally, you're playing behind your teammates. And if you're playing in this area right here, one thing you can do as Ana is one, heal the Reinhardt and whoever's in the front line taking damage. And also, you actually spot this top long, or top stairs is what some people call it. So you're basically you're looking for flankers on the enemy team, and also healing your frontliners. Another place you could play is top of pub. This spot is a lot more risky just because you're a lot more exposed right here, and the only instance where you should play this consistently is if your teammates are pushed very far up, like near bookstore. Then you could play here, but as like the payload moves closer, you have to drop forward and then play in the situation, like play in the spot right here. And also right here, you could look for, of course, always try to look for nades and try to debuff like most of the enemy team. since that's such an important mechanic. And if you see like say like a Genji or Reaper flanking right here, you could put a lot of damage on them, and also just alert your team and be like, hey, there's a Genji or a Reaper flanking us on from the right. One thing you have to be aware of though is there's still could be flankers on the left side of back alley, and try not to get caught out too bad. So usually like after first fight, and if you lose, you'll lose the first half of Streets phase, and setting up second half. Ideally, you should try to set up on top of catwalk, and once you're at top catwalk, you could basically heal whoever's your like main tank, which is like a Reinhardt maybe, and then there's like gonna be like a Roadhog Diva probably playing around the same area. Right here, you can just look to just heal them, toss a healing debuff if you can. You're also spotting the back left alleyway for flanks, as well as possibly a Reaper or a Soldier flanking from right there. Every so often you could also like just peek right and check this this back alleyway. The team I played for calls it fish, but everyone calls it something different. So right here you have a really good vantage point on all the important angles, and you have a vantage point of healing your teammates. Let's see, what else do I have to talk about? Yeah, I think that's about it for second half Streets phase. And the last phase of King's Row is somewhat similar in that you'll be playing like angles to both counteract flankers, as well as like to heal your main tanks. And to that aspect, most of the time you're going to be playing around this corner right here. And if your tanks are holding right here, this angle is really good, as you can peek in and out, heal your teammates. Also look for whoever's, if there's a Reaper or Diva flying, you also have a big impact and able to in your ability to spam down whoever's flanking right there. One thing to also note is, one thing a lot of high levels Annas like to do is, if you say like they're pushing around this area, what you could do is you could push through Hoshu and just land a really good healing debuff if the Reinhardt's like right there and his shield's pointing that way. You could just do something really sneaky, come here, healing debuff, maybe sleep the Reinhardt, and your Reinhardt could shatter that and likely win the fight. And then you just quickly loop back right here and then heal your teammates as they're looking to fight that angle. Another spot you could play as Anna on third phase of King's Row is this this spot right here. Some teams call it Access. And then right here you do the same thing where you can heal your tanks playing the front line. And if there's a flanker on this area is good, because if there's a flanker on bottom horseshoe, you could put pressure on them, so it's harder for them to actually push through and flank your team. And right here is also good since like it's a little bit offset higher, so the chances of you getting dove are a little bit less, and it's going to be harder for divers to get to you entirely. So that's about it for King's Row, I believe. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask.